Welcome, everyone. We are at 5 to 10. We are going to be awaiting the arrival of many participants. If you're joining us, thank you so much for being here. We look forward to launching our broadcast at 10 a.m. Eastern sharp. We have some early birds. I'm very encouraged. This is wonderful. And I see that Claude from Mind Trust is with us. Wonderful. Claude, please feel free to drop a question or a comment into the chat on our webinar mode today on Zoom. It's wonderful to have you with us. It's rare that we have people joining early for any virtual meeting. This is lovely.
Yeah, and on Thursday too, a busy day of the week. So
yes,
happy to have everybody here.
It is, and so close to the holidays, the countdown is on. It's hard to believe. I don't know where the year went.
I know this year flew by. I feel like every year seems to fly by faster and faster.
So true. Many Zoom accounts. Yes, so many hybrid tools, so many event meeting tools. Today we are using Zoom and we are in webinar mode, but we are recording today's session. Thank you so much to those who are joining us early. We are going to begin in about 4 minutes.
Can I ask Claudio or Claude, can you just post a hello into the chat? We just want to make sure that that's operating as well.
Claudio, or we could get Claude from Mind Trust. We just want to ensure that our chat function is working correctly. Because right now we're using the Q&A. Hopefully, though, everyone can see the chat so that we can have lots of engagement. Chat is disabled. Interesting. Thank you very, very much. We are going to take a peek at that. I know Audrey is with us, and I'm going to thank her to see if we can activate the chat. This is why we do tests, especially when I'm engaged and involved. Always.
Thank you for clarifying that you can't add, but you can see.
Very, very helpful. Very helpful. We'll let Audrey work her technical magic there. We're at 9:58. Here we go. Closed captioning enabled. Good morning. Good morning, Mona. I'm well. How are you?
Good to see you. Nice to meet you, Katie.
So great to see you as well.
And we are already live. So we are very excited to have already almost 20 participants, which is great. We had some early birds that were very eager and keen. We are very excited to welcome everyone. We're just working through one last little glitch with the chat, which, fingers crossed, will be all rectified momentarily. Our Q&A function is working. For those who might want to drop a hello there temporarily, we will be up and running on the chat shortly. 21 participants, and we're just about at 10 a.m. Give everyone one more moment. There we go. We have the chat working now. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Audrey. Audrey Wilsey, our amazing strategist working behind the scenes to help produce today's event. Very grateful. We are now at 10 a.m. I know that we already have 22 participants. We'll wait one more minute and then we will kick off with our 2023 International Women's Week Community Information Session. Katie, it's so hard to believe that we are going into our 5th year. I was sharing earlier, I remember the very first time we were chatting about this concept over Christmas, I want to say in 2018 or 2019. We secured a whole bunch of great, amazing speakers here in Ottawa, and then Monique Woodard in the Valley, and we were off to the races.
Incredible.
Such an incredible opportunity.
5 years.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah, it is hard. It is hard to believe, but then you think back to the first year and you look at all of the amazing people who have been a part of it, have helped, contributed, celebrated all of the amazing times that we had, and it's really amazing. So much in 5 years. This is
community
an
with
exciting one too.
Yes, an evolution. We are now at 10:01. I see participants flowing in. I would like to officially welcome you on behalf of Invest Ottawa and the entire community and all the partners that we are so privileged to collaborate with to our first community information session for International Women's Week 2023. Bonjour tout le monde. Before we begin our program, I would like to acknowledge that the land on which we are gathering virtually today is the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. We are very grateful to have the opportunity to be present in this territory and come together as a regional, provincial, national, and global community. Further, I want to respect and affirm the inherent treaty rights of all Indigenous peoples across this land. We recognize the contribution of Métis, Inuit, and all Indigenous peoples have and continue to make, both in shaping and strengthening this community and our country as a whole. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I am honored to be joined this morning by Katie Leclerc, an incredible communication strategist who has been our co-pilot and a co-leader of International Women's Week since its inception, and our incredible producer, Audrey Wilsey, who is going to guide us and help to pull up the slides so that we can kick off our information session today. For those of you who are tried and true and have been with us throughout the journey of International Women's Week and our diversity, equity, and inclusion journey more broadly, welcome back. We're thrilled to have you, and we look forward to another very productive and impactful International Women's Week. And a very special warm welcome to those partners and leaders and participants who might be new to this initiative. We are thrilled to welcome you, and we look forward to having you fully engaged and achieving impact together with our entire community this coming March. Next slide, please. So, of course, we wanted to open up with an overview of our agenda. Today, we're going to introduce you and discuss our collective vision and purpose for International Women's Week. That includes the objectives, target outcomes, and opportunities for engagement and contribution. We, of course, have a sneak peek at what's coming and confirmed to date for this very impactful month. Next steps and insight on our next information session, and all of the resources and assets that will be available to you to help equip you with your community and make this as impactful as possible. And that, of course, includes everything from the incredible website calendar that our marketing and communications team has developed that is already live. So grateful. Our social media package. I see Naomi Halley and I think Miriam Zuri joining us. Of course, they have created an incredible podcast, leveraging the power of Y platform. There's just so much exciting things to share with you today. We're going to jump right in and move along to the next slide. Why have we chosen to do this very important initiative? On March 8th, we know that the world celebrates the economic, cultural, and political achievements of women on International Women's Day. And of course, we support that broad international effort. This year's theme, Embrace Equity, IWD 2023. Here in Canada's capital, we join forces with people across our region, the province, throughout the country, and around the world to create an entire month of impactful initiatives that are dedicated to advancing these important goals. Members right across our community come together, they collaborate, they participate, and benefit from a series of integrated and targeted events that are really aimed at enabling and equipping, inspiring current and future women leaders from absolutely every single walk of life. Next slide, please. Our vision. We are so passionate about this particular initiative because it is far more than a set of activities, events, or campaigns. It's a powerful driver for long-term sustainable change that we know our world needs. Our community strives to create a critical mass of successful women leaders from every background, every walk of life, who achieve significant impact on our economy and society. And we certainly have some very significant global challenges that we need to tackle together as one world. Strategic collaborative action is needed now more than ever. The pandemic, our economic challenges, the war in Europe. There are so many big societal challenges, climate change, that it is only through harnessing our collective resources and the power of collaboration that we will drive the solutions that are required to make those long-term sustainable changes. And women absolutely must be a part of that solution. We truly believe that Canada's capital, together with all of our partners, can lead the country and the world on this front. And we do call on all regions and nations to join us in this effort and create an integrated, powerful wave of collaborative action that truly achieves the impact that we know we can. This year, for the first time ever, we decided we would like to create an opportunity to help those in particular who are new to International Women's Week to experience the power and momentum of this initiative, which is for and with the community. I know Invest Ottawa takes a critical role in helping to spearhead this, but this is truly a collaborative, community-based initiative. It is your initiative. It is for and with you. And so we wanted to share the wrap-up video that we created with Extremeline at the end of this March to give you just a taste of what is to come and how you can contribute. Cue up that video, please.
You got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Repeat, oh repeat, testify the motion.
The objectives we're pursuing together have never been more important. We all know the pandemic has had a disproportionate impact on women, particularly those from marginalized communities. This is an issue that impacts all of us, our economy, our society, and our community.
We all have a role to play in advancing, the agenda of creating an equitable future for all.
If we're going to have Ottawa achieve its full potential, it's because we include everyone, especially women who've been left behind in this area.
2 years ago, I felt the most empowered ever coming off of International Women's Week as we entered the pandemic.
Everyone there today and virtually, we need you. We need your business and your work to thrive. You are the creators of our culture, our economy, and our future.
The most inclusive, innovative progress can be made where we have open and frank discussions amongst diverse participants in various industry segments.
Today, we hope that we will inspire, equip, and empower women.
We're going to talk specifically about how we can create a safer and healthier space, more inclusive for women.
Because this event is in person and virtually, women have an opportunity to meet one another, not only here in Ottawa, but across the country as well.
This is an opportunity to have a good sense of community, bring people together to share through some of our challenges, our triumphs, and some of our goals, and just kind of create a sense of community and really help to break the isolation.
We want to create the environment and ecosystem that allows a person to feel like they can empower themselves.
It's really important to us that we live the values of sustainability internally, just as we do with our product. And we don't want people to feel any disconnect between their own set of values that they have at home and what they bring to the workplace.
Our work as survivors on this front line is to find new ways to disrupt the current system, disrupting and reconstructing.
It's very easy to point out problems. That is the easiest thing to do. But it's a little more challenging to actually offer up solutions.
Talking about race is very normal to me. Talking about gender is very normal to me. And I think allies need to get comfortable speaking about those.
40% of my team is female. And I can't tell you the diversity and the creativity that brings.
Feminist business strategy helps you have a greater understanding of how being a woman impacts your experience in business.
There's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to bring on really strategic investors who may not be traditional VCs, or they could be really great customers or partners for you in the long run.
I think these companies are going to be well over 8 million by the end of the year in terms of the money they've raised since they were in the She Boot program.
Everyone told me not to do an international company because there's a lot of logistic issues. And so I just went with what my gut told me to do, and here I am now.
I am one of the recent graduates of the IO Ignition, so it was so wonderful to be here in person and so exciting.
There's a myth out there that there are no women in technology. These are really tough jobs, or these are really highly technical fields, and there's just not women graduating, and we know that's not true.
There's a bias, I think, in society against women in these types of roles and against women in leadership. You only need to look at the world and the makeup of the world to understand that.
The vast majority of funding does go to male entrepreneurs. About 2 to 2.5% of VC funding goes to women-founded companies.
We have to get the voices to the table. And the one thing I've learned, especially when providing insight into cybersecurity policy, is that we all speak a slightly different language.
A lot of women, they're going to come in, they're going to go into an environment that was created really for men.
To overcome and to accelerate having more women in the field, we have to be a little bit picky in hiring more women.
I think we should create a space where it's okay to share the struggles or the demands of who we are, wearing multiple hats.
Today has been amazing to listen to those entrepreneurs speak, right? These women are strong, they are resilient.
Self-care is really one of the biggest buzzwords that not only I, but a lot of us are talking about.
International Women's Day is all about inclusion, and we want to be included in the society over here. We want to do our best.
80% of people displaced today due to climate change are women. 80%.
For every woman that escapes, for us at Battered Women Support Services, there are thousands more that are living in fear, and that's why we stay on the front line.
I do not want to see my daughter sitting in this chair dealing with the same issues when she's my age.
Look, I got here because I'm me. I'm going to continue to be me. That seems to be working, and I'll seek feedback and continue to grow.
Women should live whatever life they choose. Way too many women right now are living the life someone else wants them to live.
Everybody has extraordinary power and potential to make a difference in this world, intellectually, creatively, and emotionally.
What I have learned is to really just grab the opportunities in front of me and try to make the best of it for myself and for my team and for organizations I work for.
You have to spend a lot of time experimenting and taking big risks in life.
Empathy is my favorite word, and we don't practice it enough. And kindness can really change the world.
For future leaders, I would tell them to never underestimate the power of their voice, because your voice actually matters. Your contribution is needed in this world.
I think it is up to every single person in this world to start talking about it, to start talking about inclusivity, to start talking about diversity. It's up to you and me to make this world a better place for future generations.
Thank you so much, Audrey. I am so inspired by every single one of the leaders that you saw in that video and so many others that helped to contribute to the many, many events that were hosted last year. We hope that excites you and inspires you and gives you a taste of the type of impact and opportunity that we pursue together as a community. It's a great lead into our objectives that we really want to establish Ottawa, Canada, as an internationally recognized region and country with a critical mass of top women leaders who significantly impact our economy and society, to unite on inspiring, empowering, and equipping women leaders in professional fields spanning tech, entrepreneurship, investment, industry, government, academia, research, media, and nonprofits, every single sector of our economy, to take the strategic collaborative action that is needed now together and to harness the power of our collective resources, initiatives to create that critical mass action and a foundation for long-term collaboration on our shared goals. Next slide, please. As we set the stage for today's important information session, we really wanted to put forward a statement about what we mean by the term women. When we use this term, we refer to all individuals who identify as women. This includes women of color, transgender women, women with gender diverse identities, including non-binary and gender non-conforming women, as we know that gender is fluid and can change throughout one's lifetime. We also know these women have historically and systematically been excluded from many mainstream programs, events, services, and opportunities. We are striving together with you to break those barriers. Together with our community, as a community, we are making a concerted effort to prioritize equity, access, and inclusion in everything we do through International Women's Week. Next slide, please. We also recognize that every individual has unique needs and lived experiences that in some cases, we are not currently well equipped to address all of these unique needs. So leveraging the diversity of our partners and networks, many of whom are assembled today, DE&I experts and our generous and committed community, we are going to do our very best at Invest Ottawa together with you to support the needs of all International Women's Week participants, speakers, collaborators, and partners. And we welcome all folks. We are committed to listening, learning, and helping everyone to thrive. In that same spirit, we are calling all champions and allies because we truly are better together. It will take all of us working together to drive this critical dial. We need everyone. We invite all champions and allies to be a part of this important, empowering week and the work that takes place all year long. This is not isolated to the month of March. The partners that are assembled here today are committed to driving action on this all year long. We want men, women, non-binary folks to be a very important part of this. We welcome you. We need you. We're hoping you'll help us spread the word and join us in creating a truly inclusive month that fuels impact all year long. Next slide, please. So we're now announcing International Women's Week 2023, kicking off in March, just really a little over 2 months away. And with this, I'm so excited to share a very special announcement. Next slide, please. Our target outcomes and impact, setting the stage for this announcement. It's all about strategic coordinated community action that drives tangible and measurable opportunities for women, benefits and impact for aspiring and current women leaders, and demonstrated and collaborative action from champions and allies from women from every walk of life. We are tracking metrics more and more every year, sometimes a little tricky when there are so many great independent campaigns and initiatives and events. We really do our very best to pull those metrics together so that we can share with our region, with our country, and the world how we are making an impact together as one. Next slide, please. Collaboration drives the impact and success that we have collectively step-by-step achieved over the last 5 years. And we are going into our 5th International Women's Week, really incredible. Just a little bit of a snapshot of what we achieved together in 2022. We had more than 25 events hosted over 30 days. I should say, we call it International Women's Week. And I always do a little smile because it's truly a whole month of integrated programming. It has grown leaps and bounds and expanded so much over the last 5 years with the passion from our community that we've built out that brand together of International Women's Week. We certainly don't want to lose it, but we want everyone to know that there are really no bounds. We even have some momentum events that are going to be taking place in February that give a great lead up to all of the great work that you will do together as a community over that month of March. So we had more than 15,000 web page views. I'm incredibly grateful to the Marcom team for creating such a beautiful and dynamic web page that evolves. It's very dynamic as we add information that's shared by you, all of our collaborators, participants in events, champions and allies. That momentum continues to grow. Collectively, last March, we had thousands of participants across those 25 events and more than 40 community partners that made it all possible. Together, we really are moving the dial. And International Women's Week is evolving to accelerate our collective impact with the support of amazing collaborators that are coming on board in a very significant way this year. Next slide, please. From all of us at Invest Ottawa, from our entire community, we are so honored to announce our 2023 title sponsor for International Women's Week, BDC's Capital's Thrive Venture Fund. We cannot thank you enough from the bottom of our hearts for the generous support and commitment that BDC, the entire team, Michelle and Cynthia and CJ, and I'm very, very excited to introduce our speaker today who will join us from BDC Capital's Thrive Venture Fund. It is a privilege and an honor to collaborate with you. You are doing amazing things across the country to support women tech founders. it is my honor to move to the next slide and introduce Mona Minhas, who will join us on screen to share a little bit of insight about why they are excited to be a part of International Women's Week and the critical Thrive Venture Fund that BDC has launched. Welcome, Mona.
Thank you so much, Sonia. Hi, everyone. It's really great to be here. Thank you so much. I just want to take a few minutes today to share a few key things. First of all, on behalf of BDC and our Thrive Venture Fund, powered by BDC Capital, I'm thrilled to announce our sponsorship of Invest Ottawa's International Women's Week 2023. We have been a longstanding supporter and promoter of a number of activities around International Women's Week. I also want to take a moment to say to all the women and those who are supporters here on today's call, all of you are not only breaking the glass ceiling, but you're improving your organizations from the inside by adding your voices, perspectives, and experiences as women. And you're also improving your businesses because we all know that diversity leads to stronger business results. At BDC, we are fully committed to women entrepreneurs. You may already know that women-funded startups in Canada must work harder to raise the funding they need and continually do more with less when compared to similar male-led companies. And yet the data shows substantially higher results. Revenue per investment dollar for women-led startups is 78 cents of revenue per investment dollar versus just 31 cents for male-led companies. And that's according to some Boston Consulting Group research. This serves to validate the idea that diverse teams are imperative in making better business decisions and delivering stronger results. That's why in September of this year, BDC launched its $500 million Thrive Venture Fund and Lab for Women. I'm proud to say that Thrive is the largest investment platform of its kind in the world, supporting Canadian women-led businesses so that they can grow and have a lasting impact on the economy. Its goal is to unlock the potential of Canadian women entrepreneurs, provide them with greater opportunities, and ultimately have a better shot at success on the global stage. The reason we launched Thrive is also the reason we are so proud to sponsor Invest Ottawa for International Women's Week 2023. We have been excited, enthusiastic supporters of everything Invest Ottawa and SheBoot have done to further expand the network of collaborators and the ability of women to access networks that they may not otherwise be able to through the expanded program they do at International Women's Week. So we see lots of opportunities for more collaboration ahead. So thank you to everybody for the opportunity to be here today and to share a little bit more about BDC Thrive's platform, along with our commitment to Invest Ottawa and International Women's Week. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mona. It is such a privilege to collaborate with you. We look forward to welcoming you and Michelle Scarborough and so many members of the BDC team to our community and our national community as we host hybrid events, create new opportunities, and drive impact together. Thank you so, so much for being a part of this important initiative. All right, moving right along into our 2022 highlights and feedback. Of course, we really listen carefully to our community so that we can take in all of the insight and feedback that is shared and put it to work the following year and beyond. Some of the feedback we received from different communities across the country, the strong collaboration was one of the hallmarks and continues to be for International Women's Week, the opportunity to harness resources at a city, provincial, and national level that catalyzes action beyond what any one individual, team, or region is capable of doing is very powerful. So we look forward to building on that going forward. Diversity and inclusion is at our core. It is the foundation on which we build. Last year, the 25 events that were hosted across our community by many different partners were free and accessible, serving a variety of sectors, featured representative leaders, speakers, and participants, often available in a hybrid format. And certainly that's been a big critical success factor in this pandemic environment. The single resource that offers a core critical mass of information, the International Women's Week website and calendar that promotes all of the different opportunities that you create in one single location, was practical and impactful and generated more than 15,000 views. There was a lot of broad engagement, and I saw that someone's joining us from Peru. So that is just wonderful. It makes my heart sing when I see not just great people from across Ottawa, Ontario, and the country, but that we're reaching out to new international communities, sharing our lessons learned, creating new opportunities that drive impact. There's a lot of new audiences, organizations, and players that we've engaged over the last 4 years. And we do that by hosting more virtual and hybrid events. Last year, there were 15 countries represented. Amazing. We hope to break that number this year. And the branding, again, a big shout out to our Marcom team. I simply love the dynamic, colorful, powerful branding that they have helped to create that is now going forward into our 3rd year, helping to increase the profile of women using different types of compelling imagery, graphics, and content, including Naomi's Power of Why podcast and our hashtag We Mean Business. So many exciting resources to share with you, as Katie will describe shortly. Next slide, please. Building on our anchor years, we want to achieve even more impact with you in 2023. We want to engage and empower more women from every single walk of life. We want to look at the needs that are relevant and pertinent right now as we face recessionary winds, challenging economic times, a lot of challenges exacerbated by the pandemic, which we are still working our way through, and equipping more women leaders for success. We want to generate more provincial, national, and global participation with this integrated wave of action. So it's critical to have you together with all of the partners that will come together during that week to reach out to many of our networks. If we harness the power of those collective networks, imagine the reach and the impact we can achieve together. That's a big goal. Increasing community awareness and meaningful engagement with a lot of calls to action and engaging people united in our goal, explicitly including male allies. Everyone is welcome. I can't emphasize this enough. It is absolutely essential that we have a collaborative and inclusive environment where we bring everyone together. And I know there's several male allies on this call today, and we are incredibly grateful. Catalyzing demonstrated support and action from those champions and allies. How many opportunities can we give them to demonstrate and shine as an example for others to join in that effort? And measuring and promoting the outcome of individual events and our collective efforts for International Women's Week more broadly. Next slide, please. Branding our collaboration. This is where I'm almost ready to hand over the reins to my incredible colleague, Katie Leclerc. Our brand is the entire experience we create together for our stakeholders and the impact we help them to achieve. I know there's so much discussion around branding being a logo or a series of images or a font type. All of those elements are important, but they all support the experience we create and what impact is derived from that experience. So the events, the campaigns, the action we take together is truly at the heart of our brand. And that's founded on our goal and on key attributes. How do we translate these attributes into action together as a community? Attributes that include collaboration, success and impact, bravery and courage, strength, passion, drive, and action. And there's no better juncture than to hand off to my colleague, Katie, who is going to walk us through some of the incredible opportunities, assets, and resources that we have available to you to help make your experience and that of your stakeholders as impactful as possible. Over to you, Katie.
Thank you, Sonia. So we can move to the next slide. And in the meantime, I will say my cheeks are already sore. I've been smiling every minute we've been on this Zoom call, and I'm just so happy to be here. So let's dive into our promotional strategy. Our goal is to consistently promote individual events, initiatives, and opportunities as a collective, collaborative, integrated International Women's Week, or IWW. Our target audience is women, champions, and allies, including men, as Sonia said, seeking opportunities to drive the growth and success of current and aspiring professional women leaders. And our objectives are to catalyze awareness and meaningful engagement for women leaders throughout IWW 2023, to enlist more allies and champions to drive sustainable change, as Sonia mentioned earlier, to create as many opportunities for impact as possible to enable women in leadership. As Sonia said, well beyond a week, International Women's Week is, and really that's driven by us trying to create as many opportunities as possible. And we have an objective to grow the number of women leaders in our region, in our nation, and around the world. How can you help? So this is where we get into the nitty-gritty and the practical stuff. So how you can really have an impact. So first, consistently use and drive traffic to the IWW webpage. This is really important. We want to blow that 15,500 and more number out of the water. We want as many eyes on International Women's Week as possible. We want to use the hashtag. Hashtags are a really great way to keep all of our collective messaging together. So using hashtag this year, IWW 2023. You'll also notice that Invest Ottawa and many of our collaborators and partners consistently use hashtag Leading Business. This has been with us for the last 5 years, and it's really around all initiatives that are focused on women, and really use those across all of your social media platforms. Sonia always says she's a LinkedIn girl, so if you want to have an impact on LinkedIn, please make sure to use the hashtags too. And then amplify, promote, and engage in our collective initiatives as much as possible. So whether you can be there in person, you're on there online, or you can really just lend your platform tools or your voice to amplify an International Women's Week, that's what we want to see. So just as much as possible. You can go to the next slide. So now for our resources. So on the IWW website, the most popular page on that website is, of course, our calendar of events. Right now, you can visit the calendar of events. We'll share the website as well later on, and you'll have it in email if you haven't already visited. But our calendar of events, we've kept last year's schedule up. So you can really get a sense, and anyone visiting the website can get a sense of what took place last year. So right now you can see that. And then as we enter into the new year, you'll see that evolve to 2023. So we'll start posting and promoting all of the different initiatives. Cindy, you had shared one of your amazing initiatives in the chat. We'll make sure to get that up there on the calendar. How can we do that? By submitting. So everyone here who has opportunities, events, activities that are going on that you want amplified with the IWW collective community, submit those events through our online form, which again can be found on the calendar of events page and on the website just generally. And then also, in addition to that, we are having a huge impact together, as Sonia has said so many times. A part of that is making sure to highlight and drive people to our collaborators pages. So if your organization is doing activities around International Women's Week, and you want to make sure that, for example, your logo is featured on those collaborators page, get in touch with Sonia and I, and we can make sure that we do that, and that we can make sure it's linked to the proper resources on your own website that will help anyone visiting the site. As well, we have a resource specific page. So you can visit that page too, and you'll see all the amazing initiatives that we already have highlighted there, or the websites we already have highlighted there. We can have yours highlighted as well. Just make sure to share that with us. The social media promo kit. So that's going to be coming soon. Thank you. Thank you, Audrey. So the social media promo kit. We introduced the promo kit as a way for you to be able to access all of our key messaging and all of our resources and branding in one place, in one document, and we'll be sharing that with you in the new year. So that's something exciting to wait to land in your inbox. With that, you'll see that there's co-branding social media assets, and later in the slides, I'll show you what visually those will look like. Many of our partners here are familiar with those, but this is a way for you to really add your logo and your speakers, highlight your initiatives, but with one collective brand. Then International Women's Week Slack channel. So we're going to be sharing a link, and we want everyone here to join our Slack channel. Again, this was a communication solution. So this is a way for all of us to be in one spot, to be able to access all of our documents, access the promo kit, access the co-branding social media assets, and really connect with one another. So if you're running your own initiative and you're looking for partners, that's a way to identify people who are already committed to our goal and who really want to be involved and have impact. The next is our newsletter. We'll make sure that everyone that has joined us today is subscribed to our newsletter. I will say that our newsletter is also really an e-blast. So you're not going to consistently have it in your inbox every week. Instead, you'll get relevant information that is centered around supporting women's and women's initiatives and highlighting those as they come throughout and as leading up to International Women's Week. Maybe some of you actually found out about this event because you already subscribed to our newsletter or our e-blast. And then in addition to all of that branded content and all of the resources like the website, as Sonia said as well, we have the Power of Why podcast, we have the blog channel, we have exciting videos, amplifying and using that content to draw eyes to the website and really drive the messaging around International Women's Week, that's a great way to do it, but also really to share amazing, really engaging content that really can have an impact for the long term. And then additional resources. So we do want to recognize, as was mentioned earlier as well, the impact of International Women's Day and the resource that that website provides and that initiative provides. We are just building on that, working to have a greater impact, and we want to recognize really the amazing content and the amazing things that are coming from International Women's Day too. So we want to make sure that we're also amplifying and drawing eyes there as well. Next slide. And we'll share that website as well later on. So for those who haven't seen International Women's Week, so part of our branding is really centered around the amazing women in our ecosystem. So you'll see that in all of our content, and especially on our website. Some people on the call actually might be featured here in this beautiful captured video or image, and you can tell that that really is our goal, is to really, really support the amazing women who are already doing incredible things and use that as a way to drive and motivate more. So then we always say, see her, be her. Next slide. Thank you to all these women for all the amazing things that they do. Okay, so the actual branding. So we've got a little unique thing happening here with our design, but that's okay too. For International Women's Week, we wanted to have bright and engaging content and feature real women and real women's faces. So that's what you'll see in our imagery. As well, we have built out, logos, fonts, colors, graphics, all those things that don't make a brand but contribute to a brand. That will be provided to you, so you can again integrate that in the work that you do around International Women's Week. And we introduced this brand new brand last year, and we absolutely love it. And I think it's really a way to draw even more eyes and have greater impact too. Next slide, please. Resources. This is an example of one of our social media posts. You'll see here, add your logo, replace the image with your featured speaker. Again, it's just about having the International Women's Week monogram featured, promoting our hashtag, capturing those colors, and really driving people both to your events as well as all of the events and initiatives and opportunities there are. Like I said, the social media kit will be literally copy and paste. Many of the people here are extremely busy, so we wanted to make it as easy as possible for you to amplify while being on brand. Next slide, please.
All right. So thank you so much, Katie, for that excellent overview. Those resources have been incredibly helpful. We know in the past, Katie is always evolving them. If you have ideas and feedback, we would love to hear from you, but hopefully you'll take those assets and put them to work in your event with your stakeholders and give us the privilege of helping to amplify so that we maximize the impact that you're achieving together in support of our shared goals. And let me tell you, there is already so much dialogue in our community about initial International Women's Week events. We wanted to give you a sampling of those where there's been significant dialogue and Eventbrite's coming together so that everyone can get a little sense of the kind of inspiration, the types of opportunities that you might want to contribute to, that you might be thinking about hosting. The first one is a Black History Month event with the launch of a very special new memorial bursary that's going to be hosted by Women in Communication Technology with Carleton University in collaboration with Invest Ottawa, coming in February, which of course is Black History Month. The Women Angel Investor Breakfast, one of my favorite events, hosted by the Capital Angel Network in partnership with Invest Ottawa and BDC this year. That will also be in February and feature some incredible special guest speakers. Big shout out, I know Julia Elvidge and Jennifer Francis, who I think has just arrived back from an amazing international trip, are with us. Of course, they are the co-founders together with myself for SheBoot. So we hope all SheBooters, all SheBoot investors, and the many partners and women and champions and allies who make that program thrive will join us. Very excited for this event. The F Factor, Fueling Women Founders, March 6th. This is the International Women's Week launch event that will be hosted by Invest Ottawa with BDC and our partners at LSpark. We have a very special guest speaker coming in person. She is an amazing founder. Please mark your calendars. You will not want to miss it. We're very, very excited. Announcement to come. Strike Up Canada, big shout out to Devin Gerard and the team at Northumberland CFTC. March 2nd, they'll be hosting an incredible virtual full-day conference. We support them every year. They do amazing work. We encourage you to be a part of that important event. Better Together, hosted by Tusha Agampodi from Aurora Solar, an amazing contributor to our Women Founders and Owners Subcommittee in Invest Ottawa and a leader in our community and in the clean tech sector. She hosts, and this will be her 5th edition of Better Together, Opportunities for Champions and Allies to Support Women. Important dialogue, Invest Ottawa is proud to support. Next slide, please. International Women's Day on the Hill. I know that my friend Solange Touchim is incredibly productive this week, but we wanted to make sure we gave her a shout out on March 8th. We always join her at Parliament Hill for an incredible full day event of inspiration that you will not want to miss. Claude, thank you for being with us. I know Naomi is with us as well, Chair of Mind Trust. The Mind Trust graduation event will take place at Bayview Yards on March 10th with an incredible panel that builds on the objectives we established for International Women's Week. We look forward to that. Our CEO and incredible champion and ally, Michael Tremblay, is coordinating a fireside chat with Laura Ipson, President and CEO of Elution, an incredible global technology company. She will be joining us in person for that fireside chat and hosting a series of opportunities with founders in our ecosystem. Just incredibly grateful. Women Driving the Smart Mobility Revolution, that will be hosted sometime in the month of March with our amazing partners at Women in Automotive Technology out of Silicon Valley. We just hosted CAV Canada. They were a huge part of that event. We've been engaged and partnered for the last 3 years, just really privileged to have them so involved in leading into our ecosystem and into Canada to help explore collaboration more broadly. And revolutionizing the future of entrepreneurship. At Accelerate Aunt, we hosted perhaps one of the most compelling panels that I've ever been privileged to be a part of on Indigenous entrepreneurship and how women are driving forward in that sphere. And we are going to do a follow-up with our friends at Powwow Pitch at NACA. Get ready. It is going to be riveting and incredibly powerful. We can't wait to launch this event. This is just the start. And on the next slide, we do a big shout out and call out to all of you. There are many more events, campaigns, opportunities, and initiatives to come. We truly need you and all collaborators across our community. We can't wait to create a calendar that's very dynamic with all kinds of impactful events. And we hope that you'll bring the most creative and impactful ideas to bear this year in 2023. Next slide, please. I think this might be, and as we're ending the final steps here, next steps, just giving you an indicator of our timeline on some of the opportunities that will unfold for you and all collaborators. Of course, we're wrapping up, as we always do, our December information session. We're going to announce our 2023 featured International Women's Week leaders in early January. So as Katie noted, a really important part of our brand is featuring women who are truly embodying the values of International Women's Week, driving change and lifting up fellow women and creating new opportunities and impact. We haven't even invited them yet, but I think some of them might be on this call. So I cannot wait to share that exciting news with them. We're going to host the second information session with our community in mid-January, and that will really be to walk through the assets, the Slack channel, looking at some of the questions and opportunities that you've raised that we think could benefit our community to do collectively. We're going to launch our community-wide campaign at that same time and really promote all the activities and initiatives that you are bringing forward to drive the collective audience, to build your participation, to build your impact together as a community. We're going to host some ramp-up events, as we noted in February. We've highlighted two with the Capital Angel Network, our investor breakfast, and with Women in Communication Technology for Black History Month. And then, of course, we're launching the actual month itself in March. Get ready. It's going to be incredible. Our final slide is dedicated to opportunities for you to engage, connect, and collaborate. Please subscribe to our newsletter for updates. It's probably the fastest, most efficient way to stay on top of everything that's unfolding. We pull lots of information from you and from our broader community, and we channel it into that newsletter that is targeted to women opportunities, initiatives, and impacts. Join our collaborator community on Slack. We will be sending out a thank you email and promoting the recording of this live information session broadly. So we will have lots of information on how you can get engaged in Slack. That's a great way to identify potential collaborators, partners. If you're not looking to host an event entirely on your own, or you want to make a contribution to another event, this is the best way to get to know others who share those same values and want to pursue those same goals. Learn more at investottawa.ca/IWW and watch for those exciting updates coming soon. And that wraps up the formal part of our presentation. I know that we have a very engaged chat. We've got lots of participants with us. We are now here to take any questions you might have in the chat that we can help to address. The floor is yours. See lots of great conversation. I see so many friends and trusted colleagues and partners who have been with us over so many years. I'm just so grateful to all of you, and especially a warm welcome to those who are new to our community, joining us for the first time. We can't wait to engage you. And of course, if you do have questions that you're uncomfortable sharing in the chat or that might come to you after we conclude today's session, please reach out to us on LinkedIn. We will certainly have lots of ways to communicate and engage in the follow-up posts and in the thank you email to everyone who has registered, so you can reach out to us directly. Heidi, I could not agree more. There's so many opportunities to showcase career stories of women, particularly inspiring that early next generation. I'm even going to say elementary school, inspiring the entire pipeline of future women leaders starting at K-12. I love that idea and that concept. Junior achievement, incredible organization. Albert, an amazing leader. Great, great idea. Excellent. I already see collaborations happening in the chat. This is just so incredible. Kathy, thank you for joining us, an incredible partner and sponsor, Ross Video. Our friends at NACO who share in our goals with respect to driving more investment to women founders and changing that tragic statistic of only 2% of capital on this planet going to sole women-founded companies. Got to change that. And I know NACO is an incredible partner in that goal, alongside our SheBoot founders, investors, and so many who are partnering with us on those same objectives. Big challenges demand big collaboration and big vision. And we're grateful that you are a part of helping us to realize this vision. Katie, any final concluding words that you'd like to share as we wrap up today?
I just want to reiterate how amazing it is to see that people are sharing ideas, sharing their LinkedIn, encouraging one another to connect. And that's exactly what we want to do on the Slack channel too. Invest Ottawa has all these amazing initiatives, but there's incredible organizations like Sonia, you highlighted already, doing really amazing things and looking for collaborators or looking for partners or looking for supporters. So we want to see more of that happening on our Slack channel and happening amongst all of our amazing partners in this. So yeah, just love that.
We have two important questions. So the first question I saw is, how can small niche organizations contribute? If you're a startup, if you're a scale up, a small community of interest, even if you're an individual, there are so many ways to contribute. Please get engaged in all of the promotion, the social media. Take a peek at the calendar of events. Maybe you want to participate in one or help amplify one, or perhaps reach out to see if you can volunteer. You could host an event within your company. We promote all types of events. So I know that there was a question from Doreen as well. This is absolutely open to every organization, every individual, every passionate champion and ally who wants to support our goals collectively. It is not just tech and entrepreneurs. That's an area that Invest Ottawa, of course, is very passionate about, but this is for all types of business, all types of parts of our economy, every single sector, nonprofit, media, government, the entire gamut, every single type of sector, retail, bricks and mortar, Main Street. We had an incredible Main Street event. Doreen, I think you were a part of it last year, where we brought together over 100 mentors to help women who were leading or aiming to launch Main Street companies work through big picture challenges during the pandemic. So that's a really, really important point. This is inclusive. Inclusivity is the foundation on which we have built everything, including International Women's Week. We're on a DE&I journey. We have a long way to go within our organization, within our team, and with all of your help. We take steps every single day, every single month and year on this particular focus, which is gender-based, but more broadly, how we can make our world, our company, our culture, and our ecosystem more inclusive for people from every single walk of life. And that's women from all intersections of identity, as well as champions and allies from every section of identity. Excellent. I'm just going to take a peek up through the questions. There's so much great data. If you have research reports, and there are so many that I'm thinking of in my mind right now that we can add to our resources that would help to educate and drive awareness. That's another really critical part of our impact together, is educating and driving awareness around the challenges and around opportunities to change those statistics and the action that it will take to do just that. Just see. So many incredible people through the chat. We're very grateful for your participation today. Thank you so much for being a part of this shared journey and for joining us in these important objectives. Reach out to us. We want to hear from you, and we can't wait to collaborate with you, not just in March, but all year long. Thank you so much. Stay healthy and safe this holiday season. Wishing you and all of your loved ones a beautiful December and a very prosperous and healthy new year. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you all.